hospital last week to get my booster. I don't know what they call it now for the old people and the very ill to get in first to have their inoculation against coronavirus. So I sit there in the queue, and the lady next to me suddenly said to me, and I've written it all down because I thought I must remember this story because it was I felt it was quite an amazing thing, an ending that I was surprised with. So I was waiting to have this, and she was waiting. And she suddenly said to me, I've been in hospital and I've had a brain tumour removed. And they found that I've got stage 4 cancer, and there's nothing they can do for me. And she'd said that she lived up at Hayward Station. And I said, well, my brother used to live up there, and his wife got brain tumour. And I said, do you go to the church? I said, because their church, praying. And I said, I know a couple of friends and a couple of people who we've prayed for in our church, and they're now, who've got cancer, had cancer, they're now in remission, or else they're cured. And I said, God doesn't always do this, but I said, he sometimes does. I said, do you go to church? And she said, no, I'm a Jew. At that point, I shut up. I thought, I don't know what to say. And luckily for me, I felt relieved. I must admit, I felt relieved. My name was called and I had to go and have my vaccine. I thought, what do you say to a Jew? What do you say? And I thought, there's that poor lady. She knows she hasn't got a long while to live, and she doesn't know how to get into heaven, and I do. And so, anyway, I had the vaccine, and I still did not know what to say. And then we both ended up together in the exit room, and she spoke first, and she said, how do I get out of this room? I said, look, there's a door over there. She said, there. I said, look, the door's open. I said, I'll come with you. We go through that door. And I thought to myself, that was easy, wasn't it? Why can't I tell her how to get through the door into heaven? And these words came into my mind, and I hadn't thought of them. Now, I suddenly said to her, I can't understand why the Jews don't like Jesus. I said, because Jesus was a Jew, and he died for you. So she said to me, are you a Jew? I said, no, I've got a Jewish surname. I've been Jews at some point, I don't know. So as we walked through the door together, she said, I'm not a religious person. I don't think about religion. I don't go to synagogues, temples, or churches. And I think, I will see God in heaven. So I said to her, very gently, I said, I wouldn't risk that myself. I said, I feel at our time of life we need to be certain where we're going. I said, because you can't leave it to chance. And anyway, after that, what did you say? Let me just check. She said that she believed in God and hoped she would see him in heaven. I told her what Jesus said. I said, Jesus said that no one can go to God except through him. And she said, I do pray to God. So I said to her, well, all you have to do is to say to him, thank you for Jesus, thank you, and believe. And then we got to the end of where we were going, and she went one way and said goodbye, and I thought, I could have said more, couldn't I? Perhaps that's not enough, I should have said more. But when I went home and I typed this one, I just suddenly thought of what it said in the Bible. So I went on to Bible Gateway, make sure I got it right, and I was amazed. I actually had gone through the things that Jesus said his disciples had to do without realising it. In Matthew 10, when Jesus sent 12 disciples out, he's had these instructions. Go to the people of Israel, God's lost sheep, the Jews. And there I was, talking to a Jewish lady. Go and announce to them that the kingdom of heaven is near. And then the other thing, it says, don't worry about how to respond or what to say. God will give you the right words at the right time. For it is not you who will be speaking, it will be the Spirit and your Father speaking through you. And I thought, well, I'd obviously said quite enough. But,
you can learn some lessons from that perhaps and have that as an inspiration, right, Andy? If you want to share your experience of sharing something about Jesus, but you weren't sure what to say. There you go. You don't have to sit down. You can stand. Everyone's story is different.
Morning, people.
Morning.
We was out in Wednesday with the other people I work with. We found a nice little round table. And people walking past and they go, can we give you this leaf? And they go, no. We're just wandering on. And it can be very disheartening at times when people just wander and they don't want to know them. And so I said to this particular woman, can we give you this? She went, yeah, where is it? It's just a little leaflet about Christ, God, and the resurrection. And what we've got to do to get there. And she stood there, and we got into a conversation. I got lucky, if I'm honest. So that she comes from Hackney, but she's lived in Devon 45 years. I'm born and bred in Devon. So straight off we was a conversation what Devon used to be like and how the changes are. And this is a conversation around the on. It turned out her mum used to go to St Thomas Woods, which is a Catholic church on Woodbridge Road, bottom of Goodmayes Lane. My wife was brought up Catholic. She went to that church, big conversations and so on. Turns out her mum lives opposite Sunday Business, which I, before I came here, was part of. She knew the minister, Stephen Hannah. So don't be afraid to speak to someone, because you might find you can find a conversation without even attempting to, just because of circumstances. But as this conversation went along, I actually sort of opened this thing before and said to her about, do you know God? And she went, well, no. Good example. And whether I put something there you can start later on, but I told her the price I first, and Harry Rose for the rain, and then he's that way to God. Because she believes in there is God, but that was about the limitations of it. It wasn't an in-depth conversation like Nicholas was, but she actually, in the end, before she walked away from us, went, will you be here next week? And I went, no, next week we're in Oslo Lane, but we'll be back the following week. She went, okay, I'll see if I can pop down and see her. So I'm hoping that's a start, or a seed, that sometime over in the future, maybe we'll would, and may show some life. But don't be afraid to speak to a person, because you never know where it will come from or where it will go. I don't know what to say to people. I don't know what people's beliefs are or what ideas. Until you speak to them and find out something about it. But ask them about them, not straight off diving head first with the gospel. Because find a little bit out about them, and then you can find out how to tell them. Thank you.
Thanks very much. So hopefully that's inspiring for you, that you can proclaim Jesus. You know, you just have to be willing. You have to just look for the opportunities, and the words will be given to you, and you will have the opportunity to proclaim something about your faith. Well, let's pray together as we think about both of those experiences, and also reflect on what opportunities you might have. Maybe there's a conversation you've had recently with someone, and you'd like to think about that and bring that to God as well. So let's spend a few moments just quietly reflecting on the opportunities you have, and then we'll pray together.